Are you interested in a career in public safety? Take the first step and enroll in the Marana Police Department Explorer program, available this summer for teens and young adults ages 14 to 20. Classes meet every Wednesday at the Marana Police Station in downtown Marana. To apply, visit www.maranaaz.gov/MPD.
Let's go to the movies. Marana Parks and Recreation presents the Free Movies in Marana series on scheduled Saturdays between April and October. Movies start at sundown. Food vendors will be on site. Don't forget to bring chairs and a blanket. Visit maranaaz.gov/movies for the complete schedule.
Welcome to Real Talk with the Town, where I sit down with the Marana staff to answer your burning questions about our beautiful community. My name is Terry Rosema, and I'm the town manager for the town, so let's get started. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Real Talk with the Town. My name is Terry Rosema, and today we're going to be talking Parks and Recs. And, of course, with us today is our very own Jim Conroy, Parks and Recs Director. Jim, say hello to our audience here and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Terry. Delighted to be here today. We're always eager to talk about our programs, our new projects. And as you know, we have a big facility coming on that we're all hands on deck, our new
big facility.
Center.
What is that? What's the big facility?
The community center.
Community Center and Aquatic Center.
You haven't heard about it, Terry.
Well, a little bit of rumor here and there going on about that. So yeah, that's cool. So we've got some people that are really interested in this, and we got a couple of questions as of recently. I'm going to read these questions, so you're going to have to kind of keep them in the back of your mind.
Sure.
And we'll get back to these in a minute, because then I'm going to go to an icebreaker, because I'm a big comic book guy.
Yeah.
Love the comics, and like with Wolverine and Superman, there's always like an origin story.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm going to get your origin story here in just a minute, Jim Conroy. But before we get to that, let's talk about what's going on with the Marana Community Center Aquatic Center, the questions that came in. When will construction for the community center be? And can you describe what the vision is for the community center and what will it entail? I know there's a pool, but I don't know anything beyond that. So that's one question.
Sure.
And then the other question is, will there be any community opportunities for input related to possible sports and activities that will be available to play in the new rec center? Assuming some of this would need to be discussed beforehand for potential infrastructure and equipment purchase. So you got one person wants to know, hey, when's this thing coming? What's in it? And then another person wants to know, is there going to be any opportunity for us to have some say-so, and what kind of programming and activities are there? So those are the two things.
Sure.
Now, on to the icebreaker, Jim Conroy. Mm-hmm. At what point did Jim Conroy realize my life is going to be all about parks and recreation? Had to be a point. You had to be like a light bulb moment, a time when you went, aha, this is it.
Yeah. It was really early on. I grew up in an industrial community in upstate New York on the Hudson River, a little town called Green Island. And we had a summer program. We had a gentleman by the name of Dominic Denio, a World War II veteran, local school teacher, and ran the summer program. And he had more of an impact on our town than anybody in the town. He was the first person who, talked to me about going to college. Mm-hmm. About what the things I was interested in and what I might want to pursue. And I saw really early on, I was probably from the age of 11 or 12 to 17. And very supportive. I was a high school athlete. He's very supportive of me, but always,
He's being a little bit modest here. Jim Conroy's being a little bit modest. So Jim Conroy was not just, somewhat of a sports guy, but he played football. But he also a power lifter, man, and not just any power lifter. He was a national champion power lifter. Is that right, Jim Conroy?
Yeah.
That was a rumor I heard.
I was fortunate. Yeah, my senior year in college, I won the National Collegiate Powerlifting Championship in the 181-pound weight class. It was at Louisiana Tech in Ruston, Louisiana, is where they held the championship. And,
wow.
Yeah, it was exciting. I was from
pretty cool.
A Division III school, smaller school, and we were competing against D1 athletes.
Yeah.
So to win it was really
that's impressive.
Something that I but I had a lot of good support, good trainers, and good people around me. But
so this guy you're talking about that kind of had that influence on you.
Yeah.
He was What was his
He
position?
he was a local high school teacher and coach.
Okay.
He played football at St. Bonaventure. As I said, he's a World War II veteran. Then went to World War II, came home, taught for 30 years and coached, and ran the summer programs in our small town. And town is an industrial community, truthfully, modest community. But he brought a tremendous amount of creativity and programs, and from arts to sports to you name it, on as far as what kids would enjoy. The summer was really filled with great activities. So early on, he was really somebody who I admired, and I saw the impact of what those programs could have on our community, which, as I said, a little bit lower income community, and I never wanted to do anything different. So I pursued it. So I really, right out of the chute, I started working at YMCA's and
Outstanding.
started volunteering. I learned the park maintenance end. I was,
So that's right. That's in college and right out of college. All through it.
All through it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's all I ever wanted to do.
So let's talk a little bit. I mean, you mentioned it. This is a big project for the town, and I don't think any of us could have foreseen that this thing was going to unfold as quickly as it did. It was 2 years ago in January that you presented the Parks Master Plan to the council, and part of that master plan was a community center and aquatic center. And I don't think there was any hope or idea or thought in your mind, certainly not in my mind, that the council was going to turn around and say, we want this done. We want it done right now. So here we are, year and a half after that, and we're pretty far along in the process. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about kind of where we're at and who our partners are in this?
Sure, absolutely. It was really, I think I have to take a half step back and go back to our Park and Rec Master Plan. So we started, we really got going in the fall. In fact, it was Fall Festival 2019 is when we first went out with our tables and a couple laptops and started to survey people about what they wanted to see in the town. And
so that's the input
that's
portion.
The input.
That's the input portion that this guy was talking about earlier. Is there going to be any opportunity for input? There was a huge opportunity for input. We got thousands and thousands of people.
We got 2,454 surveys done. And at the time, the population of the town was like low 50s, And I'm not a survey expert, but the people who know surveys, recently a colleague here in the town who worked for the city of Tucson, they got 900 surveys on a project, and she said, that's awesome.
That's awesome, right.
And I thought, because at the time, one thing I knew about I had the opportunity to work in 3-4 master plans before I came here. And I knew that a park and recreation master plan without major community input, it can fall. And I also wanted to put the organization, our elected officials, in a good spot with community input. So actually, Fall Festival 2019. Now this was pre-COVID. We had about 8 people take the survey, and we really stepped it up. And everywhere where we had an event, everywhere we knew people would be in the town, along with online, we were out getting people to do the survey. It was an 18-question survey, and we got real competitive. We got 100, we got 500, we got 750, we got 1,000, and lo and behold, And then the other thing that happened with that too, Vic Hathaway, our communications manager, was heavily involved in this. We started to track how many people came online and just looked at the community center in general, because we had that up. And we actually approached overall, we had the 2,454 actual 18-question surveys that were done. But in addition to that, we tracked 6,000 plus contacts that we had on our website where people were coming in looking at it. So, I think the thing that the town, the elected officials, that the community can rest assured of, this is a community-driven project, because the top 2 deficiencies in our master plan through those surveys in our contact with people was a deficiency in indoor space. Got really high grades for our programs. But indoor space, it's pretty modest. We have our community center here in Orme, Harm Park, which a lot of people are familiar with.
It's very small.
But the number 1 deficiency was a lack of interior recreation space.
Yeah.
What does that mean? People want a community center.
Right.
And the number 2 was a year-round swimming pool. Because every year when we close our Marana pool, which opened in 1971, so 50 years of service.
Just
to
that
the
50-year celebration.
50 years
recently.
of service to the community.
Right,
And
yeah.
it's still, and I'm really proud of the job our staff does maintenance-wise, because you go over there and you look at that water and you look at the condition, quality of the water and the deck. Staff just redid it. It's really pretty stellar for a vessel that's 50 years old. So those are the top two, though, Terry. It was a deficiency with indoor recreation space and a deficiency with a year-round pool.
Yeah.
So we put that as we're going through the master plan, and we started, because we went to each individual park, and we drilled down on each park on what it needed and what needed to be done there in the next 5 or 10 years. And then it came to the forefront. Well, we got to start thinking about a rec center.
Yeah.
And we got to move it forward. We got to share it with the town manager. We got to share it with council. And I know I've heard from multiple elected officials that survey was a very, very compelling data for them to have. And as you know, our council didn't. They moved very swiftly once they got that data. And before I knew it, we were starting the process to plan the community center. And part of that was, you ask about community input. It wasn't just those 6,000 contacts and those 2,400 plus surveys. Then we went out to specialty groups. We went to like all the youth coaches.
Yeah.
Your local baseball coach, soccer coach.
The swim clubs.
We got you all together.
Yeah.
Aquatics was separate.
Yeah.
Senior club was separate.
Right.
We kept going out to all those different stakeholders. So you're president of a league, and I'll take Marana Little League, okay, or Connell Ranch Little League. You're talking 400 or 500 families.
Right.
So when you come here as a president to our meeting, you're representing hundreds of people. Well, we had a dozen, 15 people like that in a room that represented hundreds of people in all these different clubs.
Yeah.
Our Marana Marlins, 500 families.
So it's safe to say, Jim, it's safe to say that as far as what's going to be programmed into this facility, it wasn't Jim Conroy sitting in a room, dark room all by himself, figuring out, hey, this is what the people need and this is what they're going to get. You went out there, you talked to tons of people and got all the information that we feel is necessary in order to put the programs together that this community needs.
Absolutely.
So, kudos to you and to your team, because that was a lot of work. And I know it wasn't just you and your team. There was a lot of other people. You mentioned Vic here, and so that's fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about our stakeholders, the key players. So we had to go out and we had to find somebody to come help manage this project. We got a good group there, somebody to design it, and somebody that's going to build it for us. So talk about those three entities right there.
Yeah, out of the chute, the first thing we wanted to do, because the town did a great job on our police station, as you well know, and we had a project management firm, and we went, and that worked real well for the town. So we went out and we hired Abacus. Abacus has been on board now for a year and a half, and they're the overseer of the project. And then from that point, we went out and hired an architecture firm, and great enthusiasm from this project.
Yeah.
The project management firms were top notch.
Yep.
The architecture firms were top notch.
Yeah.
And everybody had a lot of experience doing these type of facilities in the state.
Tough to make a selection out of
hard
some
to make
of
a selection, but I'll tell you, the passion, and I'll say it, don't say it to him, I don't want him to get cocky, but the project architect in that, Mike Russo, has been extraordinary to work with.
I know that firsthand too.
Yeah.
He was the architect for our police facility. Love working with that guy.
Yeah, special.
Yeah.
He's a special professional. He really is. He and his team just came in the room and just knocked the ball out of the park. Great passion.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, months later, I feel every day it was just the right decision. So Mike and the Architecton team are on board in the design, and I believe they've designed more rec centers than anybody in the state.
Yeah.
But it was really the passion they had for the job, and they really demonstrated that. And I'm seeing it every day.
So you got somebody who's managing the project, you got somebody who's putting the drawing and designing it, and we got somebody who's going to build it. Tell me who that is.
Chase Construction. And Chase Construction, I've not worked with them before. However, they have a great record with the town.
Yeah.
They've built multiple MUSD schools, and our colleagues. And of course, MUSD is a major community partner of ours. And they're obviously a community.
They built the entire outlet mall down the road.
I was going to say, in 2014, they built the outlet mall, which was a great success. So between those big footprints in the town, the outlet mall, and then multiple MUSD schools, just in our town, they have done some exceptional projects. And here again, we've had them on for many months now, And the teams really gel together well.
Yeah.
You know, we're real good at, I think, keeping one another accountable. I think we're real good at listening to one another. So those are the three main players in regard to oversight, design, and construction. And then, of course, there'll be multiple subcontractors who will be coming in, you know, with structural engineering, mechanical engineering,
Right.
people doing the hardscape. I mean, it's going to be it's quite a project. It's approximately 61,000 square foot facility,
Okay,
so it's major.
So now let's talk about that.
Are you splash savvy? In the event of a home drowning, you are the first responder. We'll walk you through the steps so you can prevent further complications until help arrives. Learn more from Marana Lifeguards, Marana Police, and Northwest Fire District at maranaaz.gov/splash savvy. We are first responders against drowning, and we are splash savvy.
Enjoy live music in Marana every third Thursday in the fall and spring at the beautiful Marana Municipal Complex Courtyard from 5 to 7 p.m. With theme nights, food trucks, and attractions, this free concert truly is a family-friendly experience. Visit maranaaz.gov/events for the complete schedule.
Let's talk about this facility. You're talking
Yep.
about a 61,000 square foot facility.
Yep.
That's a pretty big footprint.
Yeah.
And plus, that doesn't count the aquatic center,
Yeah.
which is an addition to that.
Yep.
So let's talk. What is this facility going to have in it?
Well, I think there's going to be a couple things that are going to distinguish it not only from facilities in our region, but in the state.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have a 3-court gymnasium.
Mm-hmm.
That just
You don't see too many of those.
You don't see them, and I have
Yeah.
to say some good friends and colleagues in the town of Goodyear. They built a beautiful facility last year. I know
Right.
you've been there, Terry, multiple
Yep.
times. They were open about a month, and the gentleman who's the supervisor of that facility, he said, "Jim, month into this, I knew that we needed a 3rd court."
Yeah.
And I have to say that Mayor Ed Honey, when he stepped in there for a tour last March as part of the day away,
He was a proponent of that
immediately.
third gym from the get-go, man. And
Immediately.
he has pounded that drum from day one. He's continued to pound it throughout this whole process. He's been a huge advocate for that larger footprint in the gymnasium.
You know, and we're grateful for that because,
Yeah.
you know, programmatically, you asked about the one person who wrote in had asked about programming, and we talked about how this has been community driven, and we met with stakeholders, but it never stops, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to really be a park and rec department and a center that's offering people what they want. Trends are happening all the time. 10 years ago, pickleball, you'd be asking, well, what is that? We're going to have 9 pickleball courts on that gym.
Yeah.
To be, I think, you constantly have to be looking at trends because trends are always changing.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, we're going to have the standard inserts like you see in a high school gym for volleyball.
Yeah.
And you'll have your 3 basketball courts.
Right.
So you'll have that, but then we're going to be able to drop a curtain and divide this room. But then the other thing is that we can raise everything up, and during some of our major signature events, tree lighting.
Open up the whole thing.
Open up the whole thing. Now, the materials that
And you don't have to worry about the gym floor. Tell me about that.
Yeah,
because people think gymnasium floors, man, you can't walk on it with anything but sneakers, and you can't put chairs on it, can't put tables on it. But talk a little bit about what we're going to be able to do in terms of programming because of the materials that we're using there.
Well, we talk about service all the time in the town, and as you know better than anybody, with 5-star service, as you originated that saying for the town. But materials that you build with allow you to serve people better. Mm-hmm. And it was very important for us. I have worked in facilities, been involved in the construction facilities where you have your traditional maple floating floor. That was the gym floor for many, many years.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now materials have advanced where you have kind of a hard rubber kind of type of a material that athletically it has the same type of spring as a wooden floor, but you can drag tables across it and you're not going to damage it.
Yeah.
And, that's been out, that type of material now has been out for a decade, and it has it really has tested time well. So we're going to have a very durable floor, but I don't want the listeners to think that that's not going to be a good floor for exercise and athletics and all the physical activities. But truthfully, we could do a basketball tournament on a Saturday night, and we could basically then Sunday morning go in and do a huge breakfast with 400 people,
Right.
and drag the tables and chairs and so forth. So I think the materials that we use, I know it's a direct correlation to how well and how agile we can be, how we can flip that room and use it for different things.
Yeah.
Whatever might be required. Forever, when you had a gym, you had to protect it because the floor was just
Right.
so vulnerable,
Yep.
to damage.
Yeah, so we've got a big gymnasium. What else is going to be there on that? Because
Well-
that's first floor kind of stuff. What else is going to be available
So,
for people to use there?
Yeah, and I want to stay on the first floor.
Yeah,
As I said, we got 60,000 square foot, and one of our other great community partners is our Chamber of Commerce. And when we came together with our leadership people, our leadership organizations like Northwest Fire and basically the Chamber and MUSD, we talked a lot about spaces. And the Chamber said that the number one request that they have is a space that you can sit down 100 people and have a gathering. And they said actually they get that kind of call weekly.
Yeah,
So we're going to have a community room. It's going to be about 3,000 square feet. Now we'll be able to use
just
that.
indoor.
Indoor.
Right.
Indoor on the first floor, indoor. It'll be a beautiful room that will be rented. Ability for people to rent it. I foresee we're going to have a lot of weddings there. We're going to have a nice outdoor space, probably another 3,000 square foot outdoor space that you can open up the doors, big sliding doors, and you can have indoor, outdoor, very comfortable. We can set up 20 tent tops so we could seat 200 people comfortably. I think mayor and council is going to be the opportunity because we'll have all the AV equipment in there to drop the screens so they can do presentations and public meetings. But I think from a standpoint of the community enjoying it for baptismal parties or weddings or whatever that gathering might be, for them
Right.
to have the ability to rent that, to the town being able to use it for public meetings and that type of thing. So maybe during summer program, we might have 120 kids in there where that's where they're going to zero in the morning. There again, durable floor. We're going to have, it's not going to be the same floor as the gym, but a very durable floor that will be able to take kids coming in the summer program and kind of get it roughed up a little bit and then turn around and then having a wedding maybe that night there. So
So it's not just sporting activities. This is a true community center, not just a recreation center, but a community center.
Absolutely.
Where people who have events that they want to put on, that they want to be a part of, they can do that there. The town can put events on there. You can have trainings there because there's going to be isn't there going to be a couple of rooms there that are like smaller than the
we're going to have a couple rooms on the first floor that you're going to
Yeah.
be able to break out. And you're going to have everything in there from language classes to CPR classes to
Oh, right
whatever a sit-down class might be,
Yeah.
drawing classes, painting classes. We'll have 2 rooms like that. Also on the first floor, we're going to have a child care room. So if you have a young family, mom or dad want to go in and do a workout on the second floor, we'll have our workout equipment, which I'll touch on. They can drop the child off for a couple hours while they go either jump in the pool or they might go upstairs and exercise. And that's going to be on the first floor. But, there's an area that we're extremely excited about. We're excited about the whole facility. But our teen room.
Yeah.
Teen room is going to be super special.
Yeah, tell me about that, man, because I think that is one of the coolest features of this thing. So tell me a little bit more about.
So the teen room is going to be an area where it's going to be free.
Yeah.
So when you walk in the front door, basically you're going to be looking at about 100 foot in front of you, you're going to see the main desk. And then that's where the whole facility opens up. However, you're walking off to the left, which would be free. So, we're less than a fifth of a mile from 2 MUSD schools.
Right.
So,
Junior high and an elementary
school. And we hope, of course, the high school kids will be coming over too. This teen room is going to be set up with electronic games that a kid couldn't do at home.
Yeah.
And esports is big now. Speaking about
Huge,
programming.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And no more powerlifting, man. They're doing esports. Working out them thumbs, not working out the hamstrings and the quads.
Well, I think too, the broad range of services, if a kid is heavy duty into athletics or working out, that's great. The place will be for him. But, if a young person really enjoys the electronic games, they're going to have an awesome place to do their activity.
It's impressive looking. I am so impressed. I've had the opportunity. Obviously, you've done a great job. I think of presenting to myself and to the council the progress with the design and everything. And as you're able to actually walk through the building.
Yeah.
Because they're able to do that now, which is mind-boggling to me. But to be able to walk through the building and actually see this teen room and how cool it is, I mean, it's just going to be a place where kids are going to want to come and hang out. And it's a safe place, right? It's a clean place. Parents are going to just feel like, wow, this is the greatest thing in the world for our kids.
I think too. And, another community partner, of course, is our police officers. I've had a lot of communication with a number of officers that we think that this is just going to be another great community policing location.
Oh, yeah. Talk about an opportunity for cops to stop in and, connect with kids, especially some of our younger cops who are into gaming, be able to connect with kids on a level that you wouldn't be able to otherwise.
Absolutely. And you touched on something that's awful important, and I think that is that it's a place for like everything we do. Good physical health, and wellness, and good mental health. Yeah. Where a kid can go and feel like they belong. And maybe the basketball court isn't where you do your thing. Maybe it's the gaming room. But that's the other thing about this facility from a standpoint of design is the facilities that we have, I think, for everybody. And, seniors. Seniors are very important to us. There's going to be a lot of opportunities and spaces for the seniors to come in and enjoy. And I think that I'd like to jump up to the second floor.
Yeah, let's go upstairs.
Second floor is extremely exciting. And, when I think of our seniors and just public in general, and of course, with where we live and the 100 days of 100 degrees that we have annually, we're going to have an indoor walking track. So at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on July 10th, it's 103 degrees. You can go to the rec center and you can do a couple miles around the track. It'll be 10 laps for a mile, which is pretty good. Yeah. And you're also going to be able to enjoy beautiful views. Part of the design of this was to take advantage of the beautiful landscape that we have. You're going to have a great view of the Catalina Mountains and the Tortolita Mountains. And then as you wrap around this on the west side of the facility, we're also purposely have it opened up so you can see the sunsets and see the Tucson Mountains.
Yeah, I have to say, man, I think the architects just did a phenomenal job of capturing the views throughout the facility, whether you're going around the track or whether you're riding one of the stationary bikes or ellipticals or treadmills or whatever, to be able to, just stare out into the beautiful mountain vistas that we have all around us.
Absolutely.
Man, hit the ball right out of the park on that.
Safe. What I hear a lot from our seniors is, what they enjoy, and I'm real proud of the program. I mean, what we do with what we have. And we have, I want to say, we've gone over 450 senior members at our community center, which we're super proud of. Olivia Salzar has done a tremendous job overseeing that program. But this is a place people are going to be safe. Yeah. They're going to be inside. And you can walk around that track. You don't have to worry about, any kind of funny business. Yeah. You're going to be in a safe environment. And then surfaces, another thing, material, what you're going to be walking on.
Easy on the knees.
Easy on your joints.
Easy on the hips.
Yep, real absolutely. Important, so it's going to be real friendly to everybody. Now, I believe that you'll see young athletes up there. You might have a high school kid who's runs a 400 up there, doing sprints around it. Yep. But you're also going to have an 85-year-old who's going to be up there doing laps. And that's the beauty of the facility, the service to everybody.
It really is multi-generational when you think about it from that standpoint. Yeah. You got daycare and little ones all the way up to people in their 80s, 90s walking the tracks or doing whatever they want to do, coming in for an event, coming in for a pottery class or whatever the case may be.
Absolutely.
So, what else is up there on the second floor? We going to have any opportunity to pump some iron?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, from a former power lifter, we got to have some weights in there, man.
Absolutely. We're going to have, although, we're going to, as far as powerlifting and competitive weightlifting and that type of environment, we know that there's private sector people in town that run those gyms, and we want them to be successful.
Yeah, so we're not competing with them.
We're not competing with them. And
Jim Conroy's not going to go in there and do a 600-pound squat or anything. So
he's not.
He's not.
He's not doing it anywhere, actually. But we are going to have a really nice array of weight training machines. And we're also going to have cardiovascular machines, so somebody can jump on a treadmill, and we're talking pretty high volume. Yeah. We're talking probably, 40 cardiovascular machines with a nice variety of equipment, whatever your desire is. There's all kinds of different machines. And then the weight training machines also, great range of weight training machines that people can use. And then some functional fitness. People enjoy.
I was going to say, man, because I'm getting older and I'm realizing the importance of stretching and yoga. So am I going to have a place to do some yoga there?
So we're going to have 2 fitness studios on the second floor. And that's where yoga will be. That's where Zumba will be. That's where also we're going to have probably 30 spin bikes that have wheels on them. So when we have our spin classes, we roll them out on the floor, and we can bring them right back in the side of the room, and then you can have a yoga class, whatever it might be.
Martial arts classes,
Martial art
anything
class.
like that?
Martial art class is actually a very popular youth program that we have at our current community center, and I see that transitioning over there and being very popular.
I'll bet that'll explode in with activity there.
Those two fitness studios. The other thing that's cool about the two fitness studios is with the electronics and the just the technology that's available today. This building is going to be loaded with awesome technology. As you can imagine, in the teen room, it's going to be loaded with technology. But on the second floor, you'd be able to go in there with a couple of friends, and you'd be able to program what you wanted, and it pops up on the screen, and there might be...
Like Richard Simmons dancing to the oldies. They'd come up there, and I could do some Richard Simmons, old-time Richard Simmons stuff.
All that.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So, well, we want that too. We think that'd be, there's a time for having a fitness instructor, and that's important. But there's also the opportunity that people can come in and use the facility. There again, service. So people aren't just hamstringed into, they only have the class at that time. Those two fitness studios will have the ability for people to be able to go in, program it electronically, get it up on the screen, and do their activity, whatever that activity might be.
Yeah.
And
Tony Horton, maybe. A little P90X.
I would think so.
Yeah, I like that.
I would think
like
so.
that.
There's an easier way to get your rec on in Marana. Download the Marana Parks and Recreation app today to learn about parks and trails, request reservations, and register for programs. Don't miss out on a fun time. Available in the App Store for Apple and Android phones.
Hi, I'm Frank, and I'm a Marana resident. It's time to reactivate your social and fitness lifestyle. The Marana Senior Program offers a variety of services and recreation opportunities for active adults ages 50 plus. Member benefits include access to exercise classes, a fitness center that's really equipped, parties, and much more. Get a 5-day free pass of activities to use within a 30-day span. Visit maranaaz.gov/teen senior for more information.
So, what if I'm a guy, a gal that really loves the outdoors and would prefer to do some workouts outside? You got a place for me to flip some tires and do some pull-ups and
absolutely.
Like that?
That was another big component, Terry. Kind of this functional fitness area, where people will basically able to do TRX. We'll have assortment. When I said we're not, not that we're going to be heavy in free weights, but we're going to have kettlebells, we're going to have dumbbells, we're going to have a piece of apparatus like a tire that people can flip back and forth. Yeah. Where you don't have to be flipping it down the street. You can actually have that in place.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. Those are nice.
So there's going to be those type of opportunities as well, and that is something I know, as you know, has become very popular in like the last 5-8 years.
Sure.
So there'll be that component. So there again, I think we're going to have something there for everybody. And once we roll, that's kind of the building in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I hope it sounds as impressive as it does when we actually get to see it, because when I see the pictures, when I see the diagrams, when I see the virtual tour that we've gone through, it's just mind-blowing. This is a beautiful facility. I think it's going to be something, and the mayor said this to me, just probably a couple of weeks ago. He said, the town has done some significant things throughout the years. He talked about the annexation of Ina and Thornydale and the impact that had to the community. He talked about the Twin Peaks overpass over there and the impact that had to the community. He said this is going to be one of those things that's going to be impactful, not just short term, but for the next 50, 75, 100 years. So amazing facility. But let's talk, because we talked about the interior, let's talk about what's going to be outside in that aquatic center that you got planned.
It's exciting. We're going to have a lap pool where we'll be able to do competitive swimming. It's a 25-meter pool, which is high school length competition. And as I mentioned earlier, our Marlins, which is our rec program here in Marana, it's been a hugely popular program. That's going to be their home. Going to be 10 lanes, which is really nice too, because a lot of places are 8 lanes. So, and we're also going to have an elevated area for aqua aerobics. Every year when we close down our Marana pool, there's a lot of senior ladies that just love aqua aerobics. Extremely popular.
What's not to love about it?
Nationally, too. Terry.
Right? Yeah.
Nationally, it's kind of like pickleball. It's extremely popular. And every year when we close, they're very disappointed.
To your point about it being extremely popular, I just went on a cruise, and you know what they were doing in the pool with the ladies?
Exercise and
Aqua aerobics, man.
Very
on the
popular.
cruise, man.
So the way we've designed our lap pool, as I said, it'll be someone who's going to do lap swimming, but we're also going to have an elevated area specifically for aqua aerobics, where you'd have your instructor with the mic on the side, and then you'd have, and it's men and women, but I'm just saying that, senior ladies are major population that use it and enjoy it. And here again, it's great wellness, it's great fitness. And then swim lessons. We believe that our philosophy is that a child should have the opportunity to learn how to swim in the community. So we're very, and I know you know this, but we're very strong in that area. Right now we are, even at our current pool. So swim lessons will also be done. So from competitive swimming, we could have a high school meet there.
Yeah.
To turn around to do aqua aerobics for seniors.
Yeah.
To turn around and then basically do swim lessons to bring in the 2.5-year-old.
Again, multi-generational,
Service.
man. Multi-generational.
Serving everybody.
Serving everybody.
And year-round.
Yeah.
That's going to be a year-round heated vessel. And then the other thing that's really exciting, it really is an aquatic complex, is that we have what we call the play pool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be zero depth. So if you're in a wheelchair, you could roll right in. But it's going to be deep enough, too, that somebody could do some laps in there. It's going to have a lot of play features like you see at our 2 splash pads that we have right now, which are packed.
So whether you're there with kids who are a year to 2 years or 5 to 6 years, or kids who are teenagers, there's going to be something for everybody.
So and we did something else, Terry, in that vessel, which I think the community is going to really embrace. We're doing what they call a resistant water channel. And that basically is just like it sounds, where you can walk against water, which is also very popular wherever it is. And it's
great exercise and great rehab for people who are trying to come back from injuries.
And great rehab. Yeah. So basically walking against water, giving that resistance for exercise. But if you're rehabbing a hip or a knee or whatever that lower body situation might be, we think that's going to be extremely popular. In our research, and we did a lot, and we visited a lot of communities in their play pool, they'd have a lazy river type of thing. And we're still going to have that effect with that pool, where you'll be able to get on a tube and do a little bit of that. However, they didn't structure it in a way to have what we're going to have in this fitness channel. They're not going to have the same type of resistance that we're going to have. And I just want to talk about our who's going to bookend this physically. We have Northwest Fire Department on one side, great partner. I see us working with them. We're doing lots of different programs,
right,
and maybe even some shared space. And then with MHC.
MHC, the health center, man.
The health center. So, we're bookend by 2.
Couldn't ask for better neighbors.
And I think as time evolves and, our relationship with those community partners is very strong right now, but I see as time evolves, there'll be programming that will happen with both those organizations as well as MUSD that will just continue to grow.
Yeah.
Probably, type of programs. And, you talked about the longevity of the facility. A facility like this, and I know I'm a broken record, it's decades. It's decades and decades and decades that this facility is going to serve this community. I couldn't even put a number on the amount of people that will walk into this facility, or go into those pools. But we're not done yet in the aquatics area. We have a slide. We have 2 slides.
Slides? Are you kidding me?
And one's got your name on it. One's got your name on it. Opening day.
It's the slow slide,
Town manager, Mayor Honey. I'm putting out the challenge right now. Okay.
We're going to race down the slides.
I like it, man. And Ed on the other.
Ed Honey on one slide.
And you on the other.
Me on the other. We're racing down. I like it.
But we're excited about that. That's kind of a fun play component that we're going to have. It's 20 feet high.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very exhilarating for kids. So in that play area, what we just covered in the last 7-8 minutes, we have our resistant channel for fitness and for rehab.
Yeah.
We have our play pool area with the the features that you see, the splash pad.
Yep.
And then, you also have a slide, for younger kids. Also the ability in that play pool where you could do some lap swimming as well.
Yeah.
So it really, again, service.
Lots of shade, too, for the families.
Lots of shade.
Yeah. Concession area, bring the food trucks in.
Great point. You know,
Yeah.
and here again, you know, the town does such a great job supporting private sector. It was very important for service to the people using the facility, doing birthday parties and that type of thing, to have the ability to have food and beverage. But we structured it so it'll be food trucks. So we want to support, there again, private businesses. It's designed.
Town's not in the concession stand business
That's right.
at this location, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. However, we're going to be able to have those food trucks out there for people to enjoy. The design of the facility
I love that.
is there to accommodate it. We've seen that mistake at other facilities. They try to get into the concessions building.
Yeah.
It's not their forte.
Right.
And truthfully, it's not successful. So
Yeah, we need Connie and Maddie from the taco truck down the road, man. That's what we need. They're best tacos in town, I'm telling you right now. Can I do that? Is that I'm not getting paid for that, but I love their tacos. So, so an amazing facility, Jim. And, you know, my hat's off to you and your team because what an incredible job you've done up to this point. And we're in the design, and we're getting close to wrapping that up. So talk to me a little bit about next steps with this facility.
I sure will. I do want to touch on something else, Terry, that you mentioned I think is very important, shade.
Oh, yeah.
Because we hear that a lot from people. And the perimeter of this entire facility will be shade.
Yeah.
And the other thing, the opportunity with shade, we're going to have cabanas where you're going to be able to go in there like we have right now every weekend at all our parks, our miles, we have birthday parties. Now you're going to be able to also do it at the pool. You're going to be able to rent a cabana and do your child's birthday party right there. But shade is very important.
Beautiful, yeah.
So it's really cool. I didn't mean to slow us down there. But
No, that's great.
You know, the shade is
that's
very
going to be
important.
huge for families.
People to be comfortable.
Yep.
And obviously we live in a part of the country that we have to be smart regarding that. So as far as the schedule of the project, where we are right now, we're going to be breaking ground. We're looking at July, August. We're still a little bit of a moving target. I've got a lot of people working every day, you know, zeroing in on exactly when that day is going to be, but we're getting close. This summer for sure. It's about a 20-month construction project, so there's a lot of detail and analysis done from how long everything is going to take. And where we're falling right now, we're starting in that late July, early August, in that time frame. We believe we can open in the March of 2025. Now,
That's exciting, man.
And what's significant about March is we'd love to open about a month, 6 weeks, maybe even 7 weeks before school's out. Because we've also seen facilities open in the summer when school's out, they're inundated.
You get flooded.
You get flooded, and I have
with people.
With
Not
people,
with water,
and
but
we
with
want
people.
that. We want that, but we also want to be strategic and smart. Get in there, get operations going for a month, 6 weeks or so, because we know once school's out, as it should be, it's going to be very, very busy. So we're really pushing for that March of 25, and it's about a 20-month construction period based on the current analysis that our engineers and architects and construction company has done, because it's a team with all three of those entities working together.
Yeah. So we are literally looking at having a full-blown community, multi-generational community center and aquatic center open in less than 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Right? And if I want to be somebody that goes to this facility and uses this facility, what's it going to cost me, Jim?
Well, you know, we'll be presenting fees probably 6 months before we open. So it's not going to be a secret. One of the things that we're going to have to do the analysis on is what's the recovery that we're going to want to see. For instance, and I'm just going to put a number out here, but we did do some analysis during our master plan. And to what an aquatics facility would cost to run, what a rec center would cost to run. So say it's $1.2 million for the overall operation of a recreation center.
On a yearly basis.
On a yearly basis.
Yep.
So what is the percentage that the town is going to want to recover? And it's different. It's different all over the state. Some communities will want to recover 15, 20%. Truthfully, that's kind of the low end.
That's low.
And I know, and I probably shouldn't mention towns' names. We know what towns, you know, I have to say that in the municipalities in the state, I think we do a pretty good job of communicating with one another. But some of them are, Terry, as high as 70% recovery.
Yeah.
Now, that's going to dictate what it's going to be. So I think we're probably going to fall for a family, and it's not going to be...
per person.
It's not going to be, say, a family is 4 people.
Yeah, okay, I see where you're
If
going.
it's 8 people, and that's another thing we've seen communities make that mistake, where a family is not going to be penalized if there's 7 people in the family.
Yeah.
versus 4 people in the family. Family's family. Now, where that number
now what's going to happen, Jim, is families are going to move into the same house together. They're going to be like, "Hey, man, let's get like 20 of us into the same house, and then we can get our fee reduced, man."
could happen.
Could happen. Who knows?
Could happen. But we think that's important. And as you look around the state and you look at, to answer your question though, so people have kind of a sense of it, family membership, $500, $550, $600, somewhere in that range. We'll have an adult
Per year.
Per year. That's for everything. That's the pool.
Yeah.
That's everything inside. You get everything for that. So what that
family spends more on that than that on Starbucks in a given year,
and,
man.
as I said, I know it's really the core of what we do. I mean, the services that we do, it's about wellness. It's about keeping people physically healthy. It's about keeping people mentally healthy. And we think this is an oasis for that. Yeah. For a family.
Ooh, I like that, an oasis.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
I really feel like that. And there'll be a senior rate, and we'll be, as I said, there's an area that, and I know because council is so supportive of youth, the teen area will be free. We don't want to prevent a child whose family can't afford to come in and use the teen room. Yeah. So there's going to be different opportunities, and I mentioned law enforcement earlier in conversation with some of my colleagues in the police department. I see them, I think, as we move forward. Maybe, you remember the PAL programs, the police athletic leagues. I mean, I see different opportunities, too, where youth are going to be able to use the facility. But you will have the traditional pass to answer your question. Yeah. And where those numbers are going to fall, giving you a ballpark, will be determined.
That'll all be determined by the council.
But we'll
take that to the council.
We're going to do well out. 6 months before we open, it's a conversation.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, thanks so much for joining me here today, and thank you, listeners, for joining us. I want to encourage you to go onto our website. It's at maranaaz.gov/community center. Community-center, I think, actually, is what it says here. So please take the opportunity to go there. You can check out what this thing's going to look like, take a little sneak peek. And as this continues to unfold, we'll be share more and more information on that website with you. Thank you again, Jim, for joining us, and thank you, listeners. Until next time. Submit your questions by visiting maranaaz.gov/realtalk, and we'll answer them right here. To receive notifications for new releases, remember to click subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Also, please follow the town on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date on current news and events.